God's timing and how you can embrace it. God has a perfect plan for our lives, and we can trust that He has the best interests of our souls in mind when He allows us to go through difficult seasons. It's natural to think, why is this happening to me? What did I do wrong? How long will this last? When will it end? These are all logical questions and concerns that come with any trial or difficulty in life. But what if God doesn't have anything to do with those struggles? What if they were just part of the broken world we live in? Thankfully, that's not the case. Why is God allowing this? First and foremost, we must remember that God is not the author of pain and suffering. Let this be clear to you that when praying, God does listen even to sinners, and to the God-fearing and does His will, He listens to him. He listens to everyone praying to Him, for very prayer is an act of humility towards God. If prayers go unanswered, means God is not allowing these circumstances in your life because He approves of them or because they are beneficial to you. The Apostle Paul makes this very clear when he writes, "No trial has come to you but what is human." God is faithful and will not let you be tried beyond your strength, but with the trial He will also provide a way out, so that you may be able to bear it. 1 Corinthians 10 verse 13. God does not want you to be going through a difficult time any more than you do. He loves you and is always working in your life for your good and His glory. How long will it last? It's also important to understand that God knows what we are going through when we are going through a difficult season. We just have to believe that our prayers will be answered, for I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. They are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. God's timing is perfect in all things, including healing. When He allows us to go through a difficult situation, He has a perfect purpose for it in our lives. We must trust that He has our best interests in mind. When God heals, He heals. We cannot rush His timing. We cannot demand that God show favor to us. We must instead keep our heads above water and trust that God's timing is perfect. He knows what He's doing, and He has a perfect plan for our lives. What you can do now to embrace God's timing. There are 3 things you can do to embrace God's timing in your life and make the most of your current circumstances. First, embrace your current situation. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying to stay in an abusive relationship or that you should be content with your financial situation. What I mean is that you have to learn to find joy and peace where you are right now. Second, you have to remain faithful to God in the midst of your current situation and keep Him as the center of your focus. Third, you have to find a way to keep going one day at a time. It's easy to want to run from your difficulties. It's easy to want to find a quick solution. But those don't exist. It's only in the midst of the darkness that we can truly experience God's light and love. When we run from our problems, we don't grow. When we are scared and frantic, we don't grow. It's when we embrace the current situation and make the best of it that we can truly grow and mature as individuals and as Christians. 3 steps to embrace God's timing in life. There are 3 steps you can take to embrace God's timing in your life. First, you have to acknowledge the struggle in your life. You have to recognize that you're going through a difficult situation and that it's not going away. Acknowledging the difficulty is the first step to overcoming it. Second, you have to know what you're fighting against and why. You have to know what difficult circumstance you're dealing with. If you don't know what you're fighting against, then it's easy to get discouraged. Third and lastly, you have to know God's plan for your life. You have to know that God has a perfect plan for you and that He is working all things for good. You have to know that He has a purpose for the difficulty you're going through. We've talked about why God allows us to go through difficult seasons and how we can embrace God's timing in our lives. No matter what you're going through, God is with you. He has a plan for each of our lives and He loves you. No matter how difficult your circumstances, God is still there. He loves you unconditionally and He has a plan for your life.
Bible quote from John 2 verse 19. Destroy this temple and in 3 days I will raise it up. John 2 verse 19. This quote from the Bible came from Jesus when he found that the temple for worship has become a marketplace, where thieves and crooks are all over the place. Oxen, sheep, and doves to be used as offerings were being sold at a very high price. The money changers, on the other hand, took advantage of the foreigners, by paying much less in exchange for foreign coins. Cheating was rampant. Many people, pilgrims from different localities, near and far. They came to visit the temple for worship, but the merchants are on the streets, narrowing the paths, going inside the temple. They do so to hustle their products or services to the confused pilgrims. The temple authorities knew about this but allowed the corrupt activities. For the said authorities are gaining from these criminal undertakings. Jesus was furious when he saw what is going on at the sacred place. He even made a whip out of ropes and drove all animals away. Then the money changers' tables were turned and the coins were spilled to the ground from the tables of the money changers. When the Jews confronted Jesus with the word, he said, "Destroy this temple and in 3 days I will raise it up," but Jesus was mocked. The Jews were looking at the physical and material temple. To the Jews, raising the ruined temple in 3 days is impossible. Jesus is talking about the church or temple as a body, not the building as a temple. The body is Jesus Christ, the same body of the church. Christ was easily brought to his death by these Jews, whom Jesus says, "Destroy this temple." In 3 days. He rose from the dead in victory over death. From another perspective, the church will be destroyed are the believers, and in 3 days Jesus Christ will rebuild this church. The church of which Jesus is the head, and the faithful will be the arms, hands, limbs, and feet, making the believers and Jesus as one. The faithful will be the workers of spreading the same belief that Jesus has come as the Savior and is victorious over death and the path to heaven. The victory, which ends the death of all believers, at the end of time. Where just like Jesus, the dead faithful believers will be resurrected, and join the blessed in heaven. To live in heaven, just like the widow in the Gospel, where there will be no more marriage, for the convenience of both, hence, it is Jesus Christ who will provide us with all that is needed. The church of faithful believers will become brothers and sisters in Christ, and God as the Father of all. Somehow, the temple turned into a marketplace resembles the people who are being corrupted by these materialistic environments. The temple should be kept sacred, such that the Holy Spirit dwells inside the body of the faithful believers. The church in us must be strong enough to fight against the corruptive influences of the world. Materialism and commercialism make this world a battleground of the living essentials, for the one who wins is the fittest and has the right to have everything. Those who are poor and weak, the underprivileged, will be left with just crumbles, or less than enough for the control of the greedy powerful. The church, just like Jesus did at the marketplace, must refuse corruption of the body, where the soul and spirit reside. If ever the person or body becomes corrupt and destroyed, it must do whatever means necessary to raise up and become renewed, to be worthy again of God's blessings. To correct the mistake, total repentance for all the sins, which has caused harm to the body. Surrendering to Jesus Christ, and allowing the will of God to be our life's purpose, as true believers. For this we end with a short prayer. Lord Jesus Christ, we come to you to seek your mercy. Have mercy on every sinful habit we have done to ourselves, to our brother and sister, our neighbor. We have been very weak against the materialistic world, by shaming our whole personality. Forgive us, our Savior. May the offering of your precious blood clean away our sins, and make our body, your temple, become pure again. You are our great provider, for you bless us with abundant grace, and make us worthy, as we continue to live our days. All praises to you, our one true God. Thus, through the sweetest name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.